And a very pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Eyes Lamel Family Field on the campus of Brevard College. Futures football action just minutes away as the Tornadoes will host the Georgia Warhawks, who make the trip in from Lawrenceville, Georgia, for this Futures matchup. Alongside Brody Lindsay. Great to have Brody along for the ride. How you doing, buddy? I know you're looking forward to this matchup today.
Good, Phil. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good game between these two teams here.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to seeing the Futures back in action. Quarterback Blake Peters, running back Connor Riggins, and the whole crew. And the day after, a big game for the varsity team. Big win over Methodist yesterday on Senior Day. Brody, you were a big part of that, starting left tackle. Tell us a little bit, about yesterday, how it felt to get that win on Senior Day and keep this momentum going for the NATOs.
Yeah, it feels good. Feels good, Phil. We wanted to leave our seniors out on a good note here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. It's been a while since, we had our senior team last year. They played Belhaven. They did not win on their Senior Day. It was like Coach Christopher Symington once said, and Case Cook has always told us this past week of, let's send these seniors out on a good note. Some of them didn't even win their Senior Day coming out of college. And it's just one thing that you're going to remember from now on. So it feels good to get a win out of that.
Yeah, tremendous senior class rewarded with a big win, and the offense clicking in big ways. Huge day for Ethan Beamish, big day on the ground for Chancellor Lee Parker, not to mention, several wide receivers getting in on the action and finding the end zone. And, of course, the offensive line paving the way for that running game, but also pass protecting. Tell us a little bit about how the offense felt. Obviously the results speak for itself, but how did it really feel for you guys being in the middle of things?
Yeah, the offense, we finally got some stuff clicking. Kind of took a game there against Huntington, kind of slow start. We scored once, but defense helped us get the rest of those points. But no, yesterday's game was, I would say, probably the best game that we've played as far as offense, clicking together, giving up no sacks and very few pressures as the offensive line unit. And, yeah, we had a good rotation on receivers and running backs. We even had Jaden Deaton get a lot of snaps. And Tristan Wynn also got some snaps as well. So, yeah, offense is just clicking now. I think we're going to be rolling into next week, going play Wesleyan.
Yeah, outstanding stuff. Looking forward to these final 2 weeks of the regular season. And if things work out well, maybe even beyond that. So we'll keep an eye on that. Well, we're counting down to kickoff. Tornadoes and Georgia Warhawks here at Eyes Lamel Family Field, as we're going to start with the coin toss, and that'll be followed with the national anthem. Tornadoes in their gray uniforms with the silver helmets, blue pants. Now, Brody, I noticed yesterday white pants for
white
the NATOs. Was that a new combination that we had never seen before for Brevard College?
It was, yes. We've been trying to get head coach Bill Kyatt to finally let us switch it up. Our normal uniforms are blue tops with gray pants with a blue stripe down the side. And I know Ethan Beamish was trying to convince Coach Kyatt to let us wear some white pants, switch it up a little bit, keep kind of the drip, if you will, kind of make it clean and look good for us. So, yeah, the white pants was a new little thing that we threw in there. So, I think I like it. I think it looks good. It's felt good. Have a little change up every once in a while.
Well, if that's the uniform combination the players want, there's no better way to state your case now than the result that happened yesterday versus Methodist, and you're able to say, hey, Coach, we're undefeated in this combination. Keep it coming.
Yeah, yes, that's right. I hopefully we can keep wearing that because I like that a lot. And usually that's what we do. If we win and we're pretty good in some good color combinations, we'll keep it rolling.
Well, the Tornadoes won the toss, decided to defer to the second half. The Georgia Warhawks will receive. So stick with us. We'll have the national anthem here at Brevard College, followed by kickoff between the Warhawks and the Tornadoes.
Tornadoes and Warhawks coming up next.
So all the preliminaries have been taken care of here at Isleville Family Field. Coming up next, kickoff between the Tornadoes and the Warhawks. Warhawks in the orange pants with the white tops. And Tornadoes will get things started with the opening kickoff here. Won the toss, deferred to the second half, so the Tornadoes will receive to start the second half. And kicking off, one of the real highlights of this future season is Luke Anderson, who's handling the kickoff here and has had some real success punting the ball also in these futures matchups.
Yeah, that kid's got a leg on him. He usually makes a 50, 60-yard punt every time, good operations with the snap and, within the certain time of the play clock, he usually will punt it 50, 60 yards.
Yeah, Luke Anderson, the freshman punter out of Cumming, Georgia, West Forsyth High School. And toe meets leather at 2:03 p.m. Eastern Time here at Isleville Family Field. Kickoff return taken there to about the 30. Willie Holly with the return. Brought down by Aaron Jacques. So, first look at the Warhawks offensively. As final instructions for the Tornado defense as well. Jaden MacArthur, starting quarterback for the Warhawks. Check that. Christian Noel. Where's number 6? Will be the starting quarterback. Listed as an athlete on the roster, so versatile quarterback in Noel. And running play there to start things off by the Warhawks. That's Tone Williams. Listed on the roster as a two-way player, both running back and linebacker. Picks up just over 10 yards to move the sticks and give the Warhawks another 1st and 10 opportunity. So Christian Noel will go back to work in the shotgun position. This time a keeper from Noel, and is able to gain about 7 yards. Brought down there by Carter Sakakini.
Carter Sakakini, and number 24,
Roderick Frazier Jr. also getting in on that tackle. So we second in a long 3, a short 4, however you look at it. Pass rush taking care of Noel, and see what the call is there. Noel just tossed the football out of bounds. I was shaken up on the play. It's a nice pass rush by the Tornadoes. And Noel is going to have to be attended to here by the athletic training staffs. Ruling on the field's an incomplete pass. And actually, didn't see the flag, but they called it after the fact, an intentional grounding call there. But, hey, that was all created by that Tornado pass rush.
Yeah, this Tornadoes defense is definitely one of a good, solid team of all these young guys out here. Even in practice, these guys give us the varsity. They give us good looks on scout team. So these guys like to go to work, and they're very hard-hitting, aggressive. They run to the football. They fly around. They have good enthusiasm, good energy.
And that's big for the varsity team success. Obviously, this futures program, there's the opportunity for these players to work their way up to the varsity program. We've seen a lot of that, but there's also sort of the hidden value that the fans don't necessarily see is that work on the scout team against you guys.
Yeah, Phil, that's kind of like a thing is nobody's kind of behind closed doors. Nobody sees the work that these young guys put in and to make us, the older guys, look better and just try to push us every day.
So here's Jaden MacArthur at quarterback after Noel left the game after the injury. 3rd down and 14 after the intentional grounding call really pushed the Warhawks back. And, hey, that's a big stop for the Tornadoes on 3rd down. Deshaun Haddon, freshman linebacker from Bethune, South Carolina, Lee Academy. And, hey, that's a great stop for the Tornadoes defense to set the tone early here against the Warhawks.
See if we can't get this offense rolling here. That was a great stop. I don't really know what the Warhawks were thinking. They're trying to run a little pitch option to the left side out there. Maybe a little pump fake there. Try to get them to flow over and let the quarterback run with the ball a little bit.
Yeah, interesting play call on 3rd and long like that.
Oh.
And muffed snap on the punt there, and Tornado special teams able to cover it up, and this is going to be outstanding field position for the NATOs.
Tornado football.
Deshaun Haddon was there once again. Also, Donington Walters on special teams. So, hey, we've seen it on defense, and now special teams able to take advantage of that mistake by the Warhawks punting unit. So 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes, way in plus territory here at the 26-yard line. Make it the 27. Blake Peters with Connor Riggins in the backfield. Peters back to pass and is able to complete the pass.
Yeah, you've been seeing a lot of Blake Peters and Connor Riggins in the backfield with this Futures football team. Those guys, good stellar combos in the backfield. I mean, Blake Peters is a young guy, but he can sling the ball. And Riggins is really fast, got some good speed to him.
Yeah, you can see a quick release there from Peters, able to find Jamari Bellin on the reception, listed as a tight end. Rush here by Riggins. And that'll bring up 3rd and 2. So, interesting play call. That we'll see what the Tornadoes dial up here. Some different personnel checks in, including fullback Donington Walters, who made that big play on special teams to cover up that muffed punt snap. So 3rd and a short 3 for Peters and company. Handoff to Riggins. Riggins able to break a tackle, and he's going to get past the sticks. That's going to be a Tornadoes 1st down. Nice piece of running there for Riggins. You know, it seemed like the Warhawks defense had read the play pretty well, but Riggins able to move the chains.
Yeah, you got to give credit to that offensive line, too. Those guys made a hole for Riggins to run through. They just held for just a small amount of time just to get 2 to 3 yards, and that's all you need is just 2 to 3 yards every time, move the sticks, move down the field, score touchdowns.
So fresh set of downs, 1st and 10, rush here, and the Warhawks snuff out that running play to Riggins. Maddox, Khalik Maddox, the 6 foot, 300-pound nose tackle, making his presence known. Loss of 5 on the play. The TFLs, that's the stat. It seems like all these defensive players are after these days.
Yeah, that's what you want to get if you're a defensive guy. Try to move the offenses back as far as you can.
2nd and 15. Peters able to find a open wide receiver there. Gain of 7 or 8. Shywan Grant with the reception. Freshman wideout from Moncks Corner, South Carolina. So that certainly makes things a little bit more manageable after the big tackle for loss. 3rd and 7 from the 12. Manuel Cardoza, the center for the Tornadoes. Blake Peters in the shotgun position. Peters was looking for Grant once again. Credit the pass breakup to Jalon Caldwell. And that'll bring out the field goal unit for the NATOs and Luke Anderson. This will be a 30-yard field goal for Anderson. We mentioned Anderson at the top of the broadcast, handling the kickoffs, the punts, and field goal unit as well. From 30 yards out, kick is up and good. So an early 3-0 lead for the Tornadoes. And, I'm sure Brevard would have loved to have gotten into the end zone, but great to get 3 points early after the turnover there.
Yeah. When you're on the field as the offense, and sometimes you just can't score, and if you got to get 3 points with a field goal. Sometimes you're too tight. You can't let your wide receivers go out there and make reads and get past the safeties and find open. Sometimes it gets too compressed, and the running game is not going good for you. But you have a good solid pass game, and it just gets too tight, and you just can't make nothing happen. You gotta rely on that special teams field goal unit to actually come out here and help win you some games and get you 3 points to start off.
Yeah, and some positives on the offense. We're able to get that first down on that Riggins rush, able to see a couple completed passes from Peters as well. And if it wasn't for that big tackle for loss that we saw from Maddox, the nose tackle of the Warhawks, might be another story. But bottom line is 3-0 Tornadoes. Tornadoes strike first here in this futures matchup, as Anderson right back to work now with the kickoff. And it's taken there by Hill of the Warhawks.
Looks like he stole that from the off returner, stole that from the returner back there. Maybe he got a little greedy there and wanted to get some stats up for himself there.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Carlos Rodriguez with the tackle, freshman for Brevard College out of Spring Hill, Florida. So second offensive possession for the Warhawks. The Tornadoes defense did a great job getting them off the field the first time around. And Noel back at that quarterback position. 4 wide receiver set. Williams in the backfield with Noel, and the rush is to Williams. Short gain. Tornadoes defense was there. James Laycock and Jaden Foster Peak. That defensive line that you're familiar with going up against for the NATOs, making a nice play there on the run defense.
Yeah, Phil, these guys fly around, like I said before. They just fly around, and they just want to go out there and play, and they have fun. That's all that matters at this level, is just go have fun.
2nd and 10 after that first play for no gain, and well covered there. Pass is incomplete. Pass intended for Tone Williams. Tornadoes were all over it
3rd and 10.
defensively.
It's 3rd down.
And that'll bring up a 3rd and long. So the Warhawks in a tough position again. Second straight drive that they faced a 3rd and long situation. Noel, able to elude the initial pass rush, was looking for an open wide receiver, in and out of the hands of Garcia. Great coverage there from Eli Ray. We've called his name throughout this future season, the freshman safety from Helena, Georgia. And a 3-and-out for the Tornadoes defense.
That's very good for this Tornadoes defense. Try to get this offense back out on this field as much as they can.
So another opportunity for some good starting field position for the Tornadoes offense. Helms, the returner for the Nados. Fair catch is called. There's a flag on the play way back where the punter was. So see what the flag is all about. And it's going to be a personal foul on Brevard College. And that's going to be an automatic first down. So the best laid plans, the best work you could hope for from that Tornado defense, they're going to have to head right back onto the field after a penalty gives the Warhawks an automatic first down.
Yeah, that's punt return special teams units trying to block a punt there. The statistics for a blocked punt, if you have one in a game, usually you end up winning the game. Now, that's not always true, but it's always, percentage-wise, it always helps just a little bit to have a blocked punt or even a blocked field goal. Usually means that the team that blocked it will have an outcome of a win.
Well, in this case, Warhawks will be able to continue their drive after the penalty on the pressure coming from that punt block team. There's a timeout on the field. The Warhawks might not have been ready offensively to get back out there that quickly after the penalty, and they called a quick timeout to get organized. 5:06 rather to play here in the first quarter. Tornadoes 3, Warhawks 0. Joined by Brody Lindsay, offensive tackle for Brevard College out of Hendersonville, North Carolina. Great to have Brody on board. And both teams will start things up again here. Fresh set of downs for the Warhawks. And Christian Noel at that quarterback position. Tornadoes with a much deeper roster here for this game than the Warhawks. We'll see a lot of the Warhawks players play both ways. Rush here, and that's a big gainer. Over 20 yards on the carry. Call it 21 yards. And Tone Williams able to find an opening and capitalize.
It looks like that offensive line held up just enough for them to make a play there and run it up the middle for a big gain there.
Pass here, well defended by Dre Burton of the Tornadoes. So we're seeing some pass breakups and some good action from some of these Tornado defensive backs, including Burton and Ray. And I'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 29. .436 to play here in the first quarter. Noel back to pass. And in and out of the hands of Willie Holly. That would have been 6 had Holly held on to that. Looked like the Tornadoes defensive backs took a little bit of a gamble there. And Holly had an opportunity, but in and out of the hands, crisis averted.
Yeah, Phil, that number 15 for the Tornadoes here. I mean, just the little things, even though it didn't look like he had much contact on the ball, but just the jump in the arm motion actually made it to where.
May have distracted Holly, huh?
Yeah, they kind of distracted him and just he might have thought that he was not going to catch it and, put his hands back down and just kind of reset right there.
So offsides is the call on the Tornado defense, so that'll be 5 extra yards for the Warhawks. So 3rd and 5 here. Tornadoes have done a nice job in these third down situations defensively thus far. 3rd and 5 from the 24. Low snap, and the Tornadoes defense is there. That's a quarterback sack for the Nados. James Laycock, freshman out of Orange Park, Florida, Ridgeview High School. Talk to the coaches. They like Laycock a bunch, and Laycock able to come up with a big quarterback sack now decision time for the Warhawks. because you're in sort of that no man's land where this might be out of field goal range. Don't want to necessarily punt it because if it's a touchback, you only gain 8 yards or so. And so they're going to go for it here on 4th and 9 from the 28. Noel. Heavy pressure once again for the NATOs and back-to-back quarterback sacks for the Brevard College defensive line. Laycock with the pressure there, and credit the sack to Jaden Foster Peak, freshman out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. This defensive line, this pass rush for the NATOs, we've seen them run defend as well, but early, unit of the game would be the Brevard College defensive line.
Yeah, the defensive line. Martin Bayless really makes sure that his defense is top tier here at Brevard College, along with Brandon Crawford, who coaches the defensive line, former player for the Tornadoes here as well.
Well, Tornadoes take over on downs. Rush there. Will Wood with his first carry of the game. Gains about 1. And some new personnel checking in for the NATOs. Cade Foster at that fullback position. As Blake Peters will provide his offense with the play call in the huddle. Will Wood again behind Peters. Handoff to Wood. Wood able to get some extra yardage there. Tough running. Nice push from the interior part of that offensive line as well. And that'll set up 3rd and 3 from the 42. Run the ball again, or maybe play action? What are you thinking here, Brody?
I think that we just need to run the ball. Coming as offensive lineman, run the ball. It says a lot if you have a good, strong offensive line and you just run the ball. It's kind of like just, being dominant at your position there.
Well, empty backfield and a passing play for the Tornadoes, blocked at the line of scrimmage by that defensive line, and that'll bring on the punting unit. So
looked like there was an offensive lineman that might have not have been set or been ready and got caught standing on his toes and got knocked back there. I don't know what really happened there,
sort
Phil.
of a broken play a little bit there. So tough break for the Tornadoes. They'll bring up 4th down and 3. And, in your own territory here, a 3-0 lead. Play it conservative with the punt here from Anderson. Pressure there, and there's the block punt for the Warhawks. Big-time block punt there. Amari Phillips, number 1. Kind of an electric play there. Phillips was in that backfield quick and able to block the punt of Anderson. So we've seen the Tornadoes benefit from a muffed punt snap for the Warhawks, and this time the Warhawks able to block a punt to give them their best field position.
Kind of cancels each other out there in a way if you think about it, Phil.
Well, puts this Tornadoes defense back on the field, and they'll have to go back to work against this Warhawks offense. Keeper from Noel, and the Tornadoes defense, again, all over it. Number 74, Hayward Pollard. And also Brandon Ridley Jr. getting in on the action. And there was a penalty, a face mask on Brevard College. So costly penalty there as the ball moves into the red zone. Be 1st and 10 from the 15.
Yeah, so if you can mimic or lessen the personal fouls is better for the defense as well. A lot of the personal fouls will end up resulting in 15 yards and You just can't have the personal fouls. You can have there might one or two holdings or offsides that might happen, but the personal fouls is the ones that you have to keep to a minimal.
Yeah, and there's been a couple costly ones so far. This one that we just saw here, a face mask putting the Warhawks into the red zone, and earlier on a third down stop, we saw the personal foul on the block punt attempt by the Tornadoes. So certainly teaching moments that we're witnessing here. 2nd and 10 from just inside the 15. And whistles, and this is going to be a pre-snap penalty. But the timeout before the flag. So the Warhawks able to get the timeout, so the flag is picked up, and that's the second timeout the Warhawks have used thus far. We'll take a timeout with them. Your score, Tornadoes 3, Warhawks 0. Back here at Lamel Family Field, Tornadoes 3, Warhawks 0. 2nd and 10 for the Warhawks after they just burnt their second timeout of the first half. Here's Noel rolling out to his right, throws into traffic, incomplete, over the head of Anderson. Tornadoes well covered once again. Seems like the secondary of the Tornadoes able to pick up on these wide receivers awfully well, and some nice coverage there for Brevard College.
Yeah, I feel the DBs in the secondary, they've been coached by DJ Taylor, former player last year, running back. He's coaching on the defensive side of the ball. He makes these guys work every day, goes through drills and drills and drills, trying to get speed, agility there, try to get them to open their hips and be flexible.
3rd and 10. And again, Tornadoes able to really contain Noel. Brandon Ridley Jr. there once again. So that'll bring up 4th down. And I think the Warhawks are going to send out the field goal unit, try to tie up this ball game. But once again, the Tornadoes defense coming up big on 3rd down and getting the necessary stops to keep this Tornado team in this game. Really well done by the Brevard College defense thus far. This will be a 32-yard field goal and a flag as the play clock ran out. So this will be a delay of game penalty. I'm guessing most likely backing up the Warhawks 5 yards, but we'll see officially what the ruling is. So actually picking up that flag. So it's Rodrigo Lopez, listed as both a place kicker and a wide receiver. Don't see that combo all that often.
No, Phil, you don't. That's kind of an interesting combo, but the Warhawks looks like they don't have that deep of a depth chart as far as a lot of people, like you said before, playing both sides of the ball, probably trying to get these guys just some film and get the playing experience they need.
Well, Lopez takes care of business, the 32-yard field goal, and this game's all tied up at 3. But you got to like overall, how the Tornadoes have been playing through most of this first quarter, especially on the defensive end. Some big stops, and that was a big stop there as the Warhawks made their way into the red zone, but the Tornadoes able to keep them out of the end zone in the process.
Yeah, Phil, these guys I'm going to keep saying it on this whole broadcast. These guys fly around. They're physical. They want to go out and make plays. And you got to have that as a defensive unit. You got to have guys that are fresh legs. They want to go out and play and just stop the run, stop the pass. Anything you can get will help them. And I think this offensive line and this whole offense, as a Brevard College standpoint, is gonna get the stuff clicking, and they're gonna eventually start scoring some points here. I think we might have a little bit of bad communication. Looks like on some of the protections, and the running backs are hitting the right holes and running where they're supposed to be. I think it's just going to be a little bit more time with this offense.
Well, Tornadoes will receive this kickoff from Lopez, who just hammered home a 32-yard field goal. It'll be Q Alexander and Banks Helms deep for the Nados. 36 seconds to play here in the first quarter. And this kick's going to go very short. Picked up by one of the upmen, but then in and out of the hands of the Brevard College player. And Gooseby on the special team side of the Warhawks able to come up with the football. And you wonder whether that kick was intentionally, placed at that part of the football field, which can create these opportunities where, in essence, you get an onside kick, but it's down the field. It creates a little bit of havoc, a little bit of confusion as far as responsibilities go for the kickoff return team. And in this case, it pays off for the Warhawks. Another special teams turnover basically gives the Warhawks the football in plus territory.
Yeah, Phil, I think that was a good play call there. I believe that they tried to find a spot where the Nados had a gap, and they try to just make something out of nothing there.
Meanwhile, this Tornado front continues to get it done. That's big Tyrone Yarborough. Where's number 99, 6'2", 290 out of Burlington, North Carolina, and he took care of business there. A tackle for loss, a loss of 2 yards, and Tornado's defense, they're being asked a lot here in this game, and they continue to deliver. Well, that'll be it for the end of the first quarter. At the end of one, the Tornadoes 3, Warhawks 3. As we head to the second quarter, you noticed something interesting there, Brody. Yarborough, who made that big play, that big stop, 2-yard tackle for loss, able to make the play despite some different circumstances.
Yeah, Phil, it looked like he was a little bit late to the party out there of getting lined up. Looks like maybe head coach Zach Dysert was trying to get him some communication and talk to him, and then he didn't realize that the Warhawks were about to snap the ball, runs out late, and gets there on the NATO side of the ball and runs in and gets in this stance and runs and makes a tackle there.
Yeah, got to hand it to him. Sprints out there, probably just in his stance for a couple seconds, then able to make the play, a big one at that. And another nice play by the Tornado defense, a pass into the flat there, handled by Carlos Rodriguez on the defensive side. Tone Williams had the reception. He seems to be a featured part of this Warhawks offense. But set up another 3rd and long. Tornadoes defense keeps on putting the Warhawks into these situations. And see if they can get another 3rd down stop here. MacArthur back to pass. And there's the pass rush again for the Tornadoes. Quarterback sack.
Quarterback sack, number 26, Carlos Rodriguez.
And that time, a blitz package. And Carlos Rodriguez comes up with the sack. Big time play for the Tornadoes. 3rd sack of the day already for the Tornado defense. And that pushes the Warhawks way back all the way to the 50-yard line. Huge loss there. Big time play from Rodriguez and the Tornadoes defense.
Yeah, Phil, these guys, great athletes, did what they were supposed to do, coached, followed through with the coaching call, and worked out well for them.
So punt here and handled by Helms. He's quickly tackled along that far sideline, but another big stop for that Tornado defense. Really nicely done here in this first half by the Brevard College defense. Bring out the Tornado offense once again. Blake Peters and company.
Yeah, Phil, I expect to see the Natives try something different here. Might try to do a little bit of outside zone runs, try to widen the running lanes for these running backs. They've been hitting a lot of inside zone. I think we need to get outside a little bit more and just try to make something happen, try to gash one down the field.
Well, real spread offense here on this first play from scrimmage on this series here in the second quarter, and Peters unable to find open receiver, ends up taking it himself. Short gain on the play.
45, Israel Bullock.
Tackle there by Israel Bullock. So to bring up second, and we'll call it 8 from the 22. .9:45 and counting here in the second quarter. Rush here. And the Warhawks defense all over it. No gain on the play. The running backs was Avery Hickman. Where's number 20? The freshman out of Camden, South Carolina. So we've seen Riggins, Wood, and now Hickman. Deep group of running backs in this Brevard College football program. Obviously, guys like Chancellor Lee Parker and Jaden Deaton, KJ Henderson on the varsity team, Tristan Wynn, who you mentioned earlier. But we go a good 6 deep, 7 deep on this futures program as well. Now, deep shot here. Pass is complete. And then fumbled inside the 10-yard line. Recovered by the Warhawks. And what was a spectacular play for the Tornadoes. Peters with the big throw and play there to Quinn. Quinn went 70-plus yards, almost took it to the house, and then a forced fumble as Malachi Ross makes the play for the Warhawks. And another turnover for the Tornadoes. And just when you think the Tornadoes offense was going to come up big, tough break, and the Warhawks take over. Meanwhile, flags everywhere.
Yeah, Phil, looks like there's some yellow laundry out on the field. We don't want to have that. Hopefully it's on the Warhawks and not on the Natos, because we want this NATO's team just to try to piece something together here, maybe try to get a score before the half goes out with 8 minutes and 44 seconds left. But a fun fact about number 18, Joshua Quinn. Some of you might not know, but he has a twin brother, Braden Quinn, that is a backup quarterback for us on the varsity team. It's kind of hard sometimes when those two guys are together to know which one is who. I know I get them mixed up sometimes.
Yeah, and Braden Quinn, we saw him get some action, make his Tornado debut yesterday versus Methodist.
Yeah, he made a debut with a few minutes left in the fourth quarter. Try to get the guys some experience time, because if something was to ever happen, you actually want your backup quarterback to have some awareness and knowledge of how it's going to be ran, and a little different from the JV and the futures from the varsity and the elders offense of how some schematics are run. More complex plays usually.
Big time play there on the defensive end. Roderick Frazier Jr., the nickelback for Brevard College. So it was 1st and 5 after the offsides penalty on Brevard, but another tackle for loss for the Brevard College defense as Frazier comes up big. Now flags everywhere again, pre-snap. And this time it's on the Warhawks, so the 5 yards they gained earlier is going to be taken away on this false start call. So make it a 2nd and long opportunity. And this is backing things up all the way back to their own 5-yard line. So, that certainly can change a offensive coordinator's thinking a bit when you're backed up this deep. 7:45 and counting here in the second quarter, all tied up at 3. MacArthur with some pressure from the Tornadoes pass rush, and then tackle made by Brevard College's Dre Burton, that cornerback on the far side. So that'll create another 3rd down opportunity.
Yeah, Phil, that was a great play call by the Warhawks. They're trying to just get outside of their own territory here with a little screen pass.
Yeah, a little more room to operate here in a much more manageable 3rd down situation. They've been facing a bunch of 3rd and longs. This one 3rd and 6. Pass from MacArthur. Pass rush again for the NATOs.
Yeah, Phil, looks like number 11 for the Warhawks was not happy with his quarterback's read there while he was wide open, nobody around him, but it's not going to do him no good when the defensive line for the NATOs come in there and disrupt it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can't be selective necessarily when James Laycock is coming down quick on you like that, and the Warhawks incomplete on 3rd down. Another stop by the Tornado defense. Time and time again, they're being asked to come up with these stops, and they're making it happen. Now, catch there from Helms. Nifty running on the punt return as well. So a punt of 38 yards, a return of 13 yards, and Helms making something happen. I was a little worried, that he hadn't called the fair catch. The coverage seemed to be there for the Warhawks, but Helms making some guys miss and coming up with a 13-yard punt return.
Yeah, and I was glad that there wasn't a flag there, but the official looked like he might have wanted to call maybe a block in the back on the NATOs with the Warhawks guy getting thrown, but clearly to the Mr. Official, it looked like it was clean and he was squared up on him.
Well, tremendous field position for the Tornadoes here. They had some great field position in the first quarter after a special teams mistake by the Warhawks gave the Tornadoes the ball in plus territory. Here, another opportunity as Peters back to pass on play action, able to find the open wide receiver, Quinn. Quinn then makes a defender miss and all the way down to the 1-yard line. Joshua Quinn, a 36-yard reception as Peters found Quinn. So a bit of redemption after, that big play to Quinn and then the fumble And now Quinn's able to come up with a big play there. Almost found his way all the way to the end zone. It'll be first and goal from the 1.
Yeah, that's offensive line did a really great job with a tight end, stayed in there, and gave a little extra blocking for him.
And Quinn able to haul in the pass from Peters and turn up field. Rush here and stop just before the goal line. That was Zion McDaniel, another one of the running back stable for the Brevard College Tornadoes. Peters brings in the play call. McDaniel again in the backfield. First and goal from the 1. Rush there, and again held up right at the goal line. Got to hand it to those defensive linemen of the Warhawks, able to just create a stone wall there as McDaniel was stopped for no gain, and a timeout for the Tornadoes as 3rd and 3. Check that, 3rd and goal from the 1 coming up. We'll take a quick timeout with them. 3-3 second quarter here at Islamel Family Field. So 3rd and goal for the NATOs. 2 straight runs for McDaniel have been held up by these Warhawks. And so now 3rd and goal. McDaniel once again in the backfield. Peters hands it off to McDaniel. There's a hole, and there's 6 points for the Brevard College offense. McDaniel able to find the end zone, and the Tornadoes take the 9-3 lead. Zion McDaniel.
Yeah, Phil, looks like they just had just a gap right there, just small little gap, and McDaniels just came in and just crashed it down and drove right through it and just went ahead and scored.
Worth noting, Brody, McDaniel out of Hendersonville, North Henderson High School.
Yeah, North Henderson High School. I went to East Henderson High School, played against those guys over there at North Henderson a lot of years ago. Not really, just
seems like it. Though,
seems
right?
like it though. Yeah, feels like I've been out here in Brevard for ages, but it's really only been 3 years. So,
well, great to have you here at Brevard College and with us here this afternoon, Brody. 10-3 Tornadoes. Well, we've been talking about just, not just obviously on the scoreboard, but the emotional lift to be able to get a touchdown on one of these drives, and the Tornadoes able to cash in for 7.
Yeah, I know. Like last game, the offense for the NATOs, they were kind of slow. They would have good plays, but then they would get a flag or two, and they would just get brought back. So it's good to finally see these guys actually getting some points on the board, trying to make something happen out of the little of nothing.
Yeah, and the way the defense is playing, to be able to take a lead, be able to get 7 on the offensive end. Certainly a great start for the Tornadoes here in this first half. 10-3 your score, 4:51 to play second quarter. And who else but Luke Anderson getting ready to tee it up once again. Part of that specialist group here at Brevard College that works so closely together. Guys like Hugo Taylor and Nick Akis, Samuel Vargas. As that kick out of bounds, so that'll be a penalty on Brevard College and create some better field position for the Warhawks. Warhawks made the trip in from Lawrenceville, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. A sports academy. And student athletes in the same age group as most of these futures players, 1 or 2 years out of high school typically. And they're going to re-kick this, so not sure exactly what the determination of that was.
Looks like, yeah, I'm not quite understanding why they want to re-kick here. It's usually, if I was the coach, for the Warhawks, I'd argue and say that I'd want it where the 15 yards from the spot of the foul was.
Yeah, so bottom line is the ruling here is for another kickoff, this time from the 30 from Anderson, as Holly takes the return. And Holly along that far sideline, that's a sizable return for the Warhawks, so it pays off for the Warhawks. And they're going to have some great field position here starting at their own 45, and Tornado's defense will have to go back to work. Mentioned Brandon Crawford, DJ Taylor down there giving some instructions to that BC defense. Great presence of Brevard College alumni on this Brevard College coaching staff, including DJ Taylor and Brandon Crawford. Also, Brandon Unakes, who you see on the sidelines. Jaden O'Leary, part of that alumni group who's turned it into a coaching career here with Brevard College football. And that combination of that group and then the veteran coaches, many of whom have NFL experience and sizable NFL experience at that, really makes for a talented and well-rounded coaching staff here. Meanwhile, screenplay there, one of the more effective offensive plays for the Warhawks. The Tornadoes' defense has been just outstanding, but gain of 8.
Yeah, Phil, like you said, with all the coaches like Brandon Unakes, Jaden O'Leary, Toby Naylor, DJ Taylor, all of those guys. I actually played with most of those guys, and it's kind of odd having to say coach to them because, having the camaraderie and all the friendships with those guys. I love who my coaches are here.
Yeah, well, I can see how that's a bit of an adjustment for you, as it is for them as well, moving into that coaching role. But really, hats off to all those coaches. And, I failed to mention Toby Naylor, big part of the staff here as well. Toby Naylor's actually done some coaching here at Brevard College outside of football, of all sports, women's lacrosse. Spent some time as an assistant coach there. And talking to Toby, it really helped him develop, what it meant to coach college athletics and, sort of open your mind to different things and so forth. So hats off to Toby as he's, working on his coaching career, kind of stepping outside the box a little bit. Meanwhile, 1st and 10 here, first down for the Warhawks. Pass for MacArthur. MacArthur able to elude the pass rush. Flags come down on the play and then brought down by the Tornadoes. Roderick Frazier Jr. from that nickelback position, but a flag on the play. We'll see what that's all about.
Yeah, not to mention some of these coaches like Toby Naylor and Brandon Unakes and Jaden O'Leary, they also play professional football as well. I know Toby Naylor plays over in Germany, and Brandon Unakes was over in Switzerland this past year, but he's also been added to a team over here in the States, a team out of Texas. And Jaden O'Leary plays for a team in Mexico.
Yeah, so you can bring that experience and you learn things from those coaching staffs of those professional teams that you can bring back to Brevard College and bring that knowledge, bring that expertise here. And Coach Martin Bayless, the general manager for Brevard College and such a big part of this coaching staff as well. You know, he's got that UFL experience that he's currently coaching with one of the top teams in professional football here in the United States, and just real fascinating. I encourage folks, go to bctornadoes.com, go click on coaches on the football section or from the staff directory and browse through the biographies of these coaches, and it's pretty amazing just how deep the experience goes. So after a holding penalty on the Warhawks, now an offsides penalty on the Tornadoes defense. Case Cookus and Zach Dysert, 2 more. I mean, these are quarterbacks with NFL experience under their belt, and now both part of the Tornadoes coaching staff. Then, of course, you know, head coach Bill Kyatt has spent time in the NFL, both player and coach. Everett Lindsay, a tremendous player on the NFL side of things, a longtime offensive lineman for several clubs. Kirk Gavea has a pair of Super Bowl rings from his time in the NFL. So the list just goes on and on as throw there goes long. Chris Symington, you mentioned Coach Symington earlier. He's got big-time experience, you know, places like Colorado and so forth. So really a superb coaching staff with all sorts of experience, whether it's these younger coaches who are, you know, recent Brevard College alums or, you know, these veteran guys who've been all over the place.
Yeah, Phil. Almost 100 years of NFL experience here between all of the guys, or the coaches, I should say. That is, if you don't want another reason to come to Brevard College as a recruit, I don't know what is. I mean, you know, yes, it's not a big Division I offer or even a big D2 offer, but the experience and the people you know will get you further in life than anything.
Yeah, just a tremendous staff, and yeah, like you said, when you hear nearly 100 years of NFL experience between the staff, that's really something for a Division III institution. So hats off to Coach Bill Kyatt for assembling that staff, and big thanks to all the coaches for, you know, choosing to spend their time here at Brevard College. You know, obviously a special place and got a great thing going, and great opportunity for these student athletes to learn from some of the best in the business and a lot of combined wisdom, as you mentioned there. Well, it's the 2-minute timeout, new part of college football.
Yeah, so we don't get TV timeouts down here at the Division III level like Division I does, but the 2-minute timeout is also added just an extra freebie for us playing Division III football down here.
So, I mean, is that something you guys have noticed on the field of play as you're playing offensive line for the Tornadoes, that, hey, we get a breather here at the 2-minute timeout?
Definitely. I know that we're in shape. Bill Kyatt makes us run a lot to get us in shape, and it's for the benefit of us. But also, it's like you have a long drive of, you know, we had 15 plays in Huntington last week, I should say, back to back. We chewed down the clock, and then we had a 2-minute timeout, and it was like, oh, we can breathe a little bit here, fellas. We can get back and try to make some score here.
Yeah, the 2-minute timeout. It's interesting. The NCAA has insisted that people like ourselves, broadcasters, don't call it a 2-minute warning like they do in the NFL.
Yeah,
call it a 2-minute timeout. You know, they want to differentiate from that 2-minute warning in the NFL. Meanwhile, pass there, incomplete on third down. So another third down stop for that NATO defense. You know, great work by the Tornado defense overall. This time they were able to withstand a couple different situations leading up to that third down, and that's going to bring on the punting unit for the Warhawks. You know, 4th and 10. Maybe a little too risky to go for it on that sort of distance on 4th down. So punting unit will be out, but keep an eye out. This is sometimes when you see some trickery, too, on this part of the field.
Yeah, there's always time for a trick play if you can have your guys run it correctly and have the personnel in there.
Fair catch there by Banks Helms. So the Tornadoes will have a chance here couple timeouts. 1:48 on the clock here in the second quarter. And Tornadoes with a 10-3 lead. See if they perhaps try to look downfield a little bit and add to that 10-3 lead before halftime.
Yeah, Phil, if you can score before halftime, boosts the team morale and just gives you extra boost of confidence and try to keep this offense rolling here coming out of the halftime.
Now the punt did make it challenging for the Tornadoes in terms of field position, backed up all the way to the 14. Meanwhile, running play there for about 7 yards. So you could argue the other way. Hey, up 10-3, starting field position way back at your own 14. Do you just run the ball, take this 10-3 lead into halftime? The Tornadoes will get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, Phil, just whatever little momentum you can get to help these guys get into the box, get to the end zone, it helps in the long run. If we can keep run the ball, score some touchdowns, or at least get movement down the field, it's going to help these guys a lot.
Play action, rolling out to his right, Peters. Peters able to find the open wide receiver. Antonio Ellis with his first catch of the day, and that's a first down with the clock stopping as Ellis able to make his way out of bounds. Great play call there. Fooled the defense entirely on that rollout from Peters and then the connection to Ellis.
Yeah, Phil, that's what you want on those rollouts. If you can get all of the defensive linemen and the linebackers to flow over and you have your your quarterback come back out to an open receiver, usually works best for you.
Peters back to pass again, able to find an open wide receiver. Another first down along the sidelines. It's Zion Goss.
Number 86, Zion Gauze for the Tornado, first down.
So seeing some new faces here on the wide receiver side of things, and the Tornadoes able to capitalize with 2 quick first downs. Great job to find the sideline and get out of bounds, stop the clock, and running a 2-minute offense here the way it is intended.
Yeah, if you have a good 2-minute offense, Phil, you can have a pretty good offense together.
There it is again now, cutting inside, and flags on the play.
Pass is complete to number 7, Ricky Middleton.
Ricky Middleton makes the catch along the sideline. Now, I could see some instruction there from the coaches. I think they wanted him to get out of bounds and stop the clock, but in a kind of ironic way, it ends up going the Tornadoes' way because it looks like a clear face mask against the Warhawks. And, had he run out of bounds, there wouldn't have been the extra penalty there. So I think from the Tornadoes' side of things, they'll certainly take this, and that's a costly penalty against the Warhawks.
Yeah, it's going to move the sticks for the Nados and going to get a little closer. Maybe they can't run another rollout pass and try to get in the box here, or have a big pass to the tight end Joshua Quinn.
Yeah, so into the red zone, 1st and 10 from the 18. Peters looking for the end zone, able to make the play there, and the touchdown. Joshua Quinn, you caught it, Brody. And Peters to Quinn, and the Tornadoes' 2-minute offense pays off. Tornadoes now leading 16-3. An 18-yard touchdown pass to Quinn.
I mean, when you're 6'3", 210 pounds, you hate for Peters not to throw it to him when he has a good matchup on a short DB like that.
Anderson looking for the extra point here, and it's good. So 17-3.
PAT is good.
Brevard stretches its lead even further. There is a flag on the play on that extra point, so we'll see what this is all about. So they'll have to re-kick it. after a 5-yard penalty and a legal formation call on the NATOs. But really well done by Brevard College in that 2-minute offense.
Yeah, Phil. Sometimes it can be hard for this field goal unit to get everywhere or everybody on the line because you have to break the hips of the snapper or the center. You have to break the hips, and that goes for offense and also field goal. You have to break the hips.
Well, Anderson hits an absolute line drive that clears the crossbar by about 2 feet. And bottom line is, extra point counts. Tornadoes take the 17-3 lead. Get it done somehow, some way.
Definitely got the points. That's what you want here as an offense. You just got to get points. Sometimes it's not going to be pretty. You're going to have to dig, scratch, and claw to get them. But at the end of the day, a win's a win if you can be able to make all the points get out.
17-3, Brevard College. And Blake Peters finding Joshua Quinn in the end zone. The big play by Quinn earlier had set up the first touchdown. And Peters and Quinn seem like they've got a thing going.
Yeah, Phil. If you're a quarterback, you need to have good relationships with your offensive line, your center especially, and your receivers. You have a good team morale and camaraderie right there. Just have good chemistry. Everybody just plays better.
Kickoff return there by Holly. Great job by the Tornadoes kickoff return unit. Jeremiah Stallings, amongst others. Down there on the kickoff return. And 21 seconds, Warhawks suddenly looking at a 14-point deficit that they're going to have to work their way out of. You'd imagine with this sort of field position, they'll just do something conservative here and head into the locker room to regroup, but you never know. MacArthur swings it over to Davis. Number 11 for the Warhawks looks absolutely incredulous. He thought he was wide open on the near sideline.
Looks like they're going to take this one to the half, Phil.
Yep. So your score at the half will be 17-3 Tornadoes. Brevard does get the ball to start the second half as well. So great first half for the Tornadoes. Great work by the defense to keep the Warhawks offense in check. And then a couple of big plays, Peters and Quinn combining. And then the touchdown also from Zion McDaniel. It all adds up to a 17-3 Tornadoes lead over the Warhawks. Stick with us. Second half coming up next. Back here at Islamel Family Field on the campus of Brevard College, an impressive 17-3 lead for Brevard at halftime. Great first half all the way around for the Tornadoes. A field goal by Luke Anderson and touchdown from Zion McDaniel on a 1-yard rush to pound it home after a big play to Joshua Quinn. And then Quinn with a touchdown from Blake Peters. All adds up to a 17-3 lead. But joined by Brody Lindsay. Brody, the big story in this one in many ways is that Brevard College defense and the way they've kept the Warhawks in check.
They've always had a good camaraderie with these defensive guys. They like to play fast, play physical, try to make stuff happen. I think the second half is going to be very well a defensive side of the game for the Tornadoes.
Well, 17-3 here in Brevard, North Carolina. We appreciate you spending your Sunday with us. We know you have a lot of entertainment options, including the NFL, so let's catch you up on what's going on around the NFL. Dolphins 20, Bills 20 up in Buffalo with 10 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Ravens all over the Broncos in the fourth quarter, 41-10. Chargers 20, Browns 3. That's in the fourth quarter. Panthers, the local team here in North Carolina, with a 17-16 lead over the Saints, 12:40 to play in the fourth. Bengals 31, Raiders 10. That's late in the third. Commanders with a 24-16 lead over the Giants in the fourth quarter. Falcons 27, Cowboys 13. That's in the fourth quarter in Atlanta. And Patriots-Titans tied up at 10 in the fourth quarter. So that catches you up in the NFL. Brody, do you keep an eye on the NFL most Sundays?
Phil, not really. Not no more that my player, Jason Kelsey, retired. I was a big Jason Kelsey fan. Loved his work at center for the Eagles and just everything about him as far as playing ball.
Well, kickoff there, another, shorter kickoff. That time the Tornadoes able to secure it with the fair catch. So probably a smart play by the Tornadoes on the special team sides, as I think the Warhawks are trying to do the same sort of thing with the short kickoff that they were able to get a result with as well. Tornadoes futures football here at Islamel Family Field after a big win by the varsity team, also known as the Elders team, yesterday over Methodist. The Tornadoes looking to make it a football sweep this weekend.
Yeah, that'll be good if we can get a football sweep here. Everybody goes into the school week of being confident and energized and, holding our chests up a little high because, it's always good to have a win.
James Brown with the initial rush. So seeing once again this deep running back core. James Brown, number 28, with the carry. Freshman out of Pensacola, Florida, in the panhandle of Florida. So we've seen a number of running backs, Hickman, Riggins, Will Wood, and now James Brown. Nice 9-yard gain on first down for Brown. 2nd and 1. Screen pass and incomplete, intended for Shuford. So quick hitter over there to the near sideline, and Warhawks were there defensively. And the ball's actually going to be backed up to the 35. So this completely got by us, fooled us here in the press box. But it's Warhawks football. That was ruled an interception on that far side. Looked clearly incomplete to us. and somehow that is ruled an interception.
Phil, to me, it looked like the ball might have either bounced on the ground and then they caught it, or I don't know. I'm kind of lost for words here. I thought it was completely incomplete pass here as well.
And it's seems to have caught Brevard off guard a bit. You saw how long it took the defense to get back out there. You know, the offense was still on the field ready to get things started on the next down and distance. And meanwhile, Warhawks offense with a quick hitter there, creating a 2nd and 2 situation.
Well, and not to bash the officials, but it looked like they didn't really give a clear, direct call of what had happened. Did it no signaling of a interception or anything like that? It just looked like they just placed the ball and said, all right, your offense is up for the Warhawks.
Bizarre, but meanwhile, that Tornado defense is going to be asked to put this on their shoulders again. Flags everywhere. Some action after the whistle.
Maybe some extracurricular activities taking place outside the whistles.
So we'll see what the call is here. And it's an unsportsmanlike conduct call on MacArthur, one of the offensive linemen of the Warhawks. So the Warhawks had a 2nd and short situation. This is going to bring them back good 15 yards and make things very difficult on 3rd down. 3rd and 17. See, one of the offensive linemen not set, but late gets into position there. That was 55, Alex Perry. Now, quick hitter there, then a great play in the open field. After the Williams reception, Quez Davis making the play in the open field. You got to love that open field tackling by the cornerback Davis.
Yeah, that was definitely a downhill tackle there, come flying down, trying to make a little action happen here for the Tornadoes, trying to keep these guys backed up as much as they can. And Phil looks like they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Yeah, 4th and 15 from the 40. So the Warhawks down by 14. And whistles, flag on the play. And this is going to back them up even further, make it 4th and 20. See if they'll leave the offense out here, or do you change your mind and send out the punting unit?
Looks like they're going to leave out the offense here, and the play before looked like they had a trips look to the left side here, so might try to run some last-ditch effort on 4th down to try to go score. Lined back up in the trips left.
4th and 20 and going for it here early in the 3rd quarter. Noel. And they convert the 4th down. Holly. So we can second guess the decision to go on 4th and 20, but the Warhawks can point to the success on that play. And from the Tornadoes' perspective, you hate to give that up on 4th and 20. Your defense really had the Warhawks in a tough spot, but the Warhawks able to deliver there. Tone Williams once again.
Oh, fumble.
Meanwhile, fumble here, all sorts of bodies near the football. Brandon Ridley Jr. able to force the fumble. And the Warhawks able to come up with it and secure that football, keep this drive going.
That's like our offensive line coach, Everett Lindsay, always tells us offensive linemen is, pursue the football. Usually you hear that on defense, but as well as offense. Always run down if there's a running back that makes a long run outside, and you always want to chase him because you never know when something like that could happen. The ball pops out, and who knows, you have a chance to scoop it up or receive it and make something happen with it here.
A jump ball there and ruled out of bounds. Dontarian Anderson was able to go up high and bring that down.
It was a great move by that guy. He was looks like he has some length to him, Phil.
Yeah, Anderson able to come up with that catch, but ruled out of bounds, and so that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Brings up 3rd and long. Fans, make some noise. It's 3rd down.
Crowd getting going here on the defensive end on 3rd down opportunity and another jump ball to the same wide receiver, Anderson, who hauls it in for 6. So the Warhawks able to capitalize points off turnovers, always a factor in these college football games, and Warhawks able to get the interception, which we still question the validity of that, but capitalize on a 4th and 20 situation, a bold decision by the Warhawks coaching staff.
Definitely.
They're able to convert that and now find pay dirt with the catch to Anderson, and extra point is good, and that'll make it a 17-10 ball game here in the 3rd quarter. 7:28 to play. So there was a flag on that PAT, so PAT attempt will have to be tried again by Lopez. And Lopez will square things up. Snap is good. Hold is good, but it's blocked. Tornadoes there with the block punt, picked up and taking it all the way to the house. That'll be a 2-point conversion the other way for the Tornadoes.
And Phil, looks like there's no flags on the play, so that's gonna count for the Tornadoes here. That's just an extra bit of opportunity for the NATOs to get 2 extra points on the board and just extend the lead just a little bit more.
A feel-good moment there. Great job by Antonio Ellis to scoop up the block punt and take it all the way to the house for the 2-point conversion. And the Tornadoes, what was about to be a 17-10 game, has now stretched this to 19-9, a 2-score difference. So that's a critical play. That's one of those, hey, circle that moment, 7:28 in the 3rd quarter, because this could be the difference ultimately in the game. It's one of those type of moments. But, hey, great job by the special teams of the Tornadoes blocking that extra point attempt. And the Warhawks, that's a tough penalty. You know, it seems like a innocuous 5-yard penalty that they line up again for another PAT, but blocked point after touchdown attempt, and the Tornadoes get 2 points out of it.
I'm glad they actually blocked one here. I know for us on the elder side of the things of Brevard College football, we've been so close to blocking field goals and punts. We're so close. We have yet to actually block one. So I'm glad that the young guys can actually put it all together, time it up right, and block one, and just help extend the game here.
Yeah, great stuff there, and the Tornadoes 19-9 now lead by 10. Another short kick, so this certainly seems like the way the Warhawks are going to continue to operate, and the Tornadoes able to safely keep the football after a bit of a scare there. Walters had to handle it as the up man, and it's one of these, you've got to have awareness as those up guys on the return. So often you're imagining this is going to go deep and you're going to have to block and find your assignment for the return man, but whole other scenario here, and the Warhawks trying to catch the Tornadoes off guard.
Yeah, if I was the Warhawks special teams coordinator, I'd try to just pick apart the operations that they have here as far as trying to find an open gap to where somebody is not there and try to see if you can take a fast guy and send him down and maybe even recover or make them make a mistake in trying to get back the football here.
Blake Peters and the Tornadoes offense will go back to work. 7:26 to play here in the third quarter. By the way, these all four quarters of the 12-minute variety this afternoon. A decision by the two teams and the officials before the contest. Rush there. Gain of 4, so it'll be 2nd and 6. James Brown with the carry.
The 12-minute quarters kind of, in a way, kind of help and kind of hurt these guys because, if you had the extra time, you could make something happen in a critical moment.
Well, certainly every possession is critical, and you got to make the most out of them. Meanwhile, a deep shot, but there's whistles going to stop the play. We'll see what the flag's all about. An illegal shift, pre-snap penalty on the Tornadoes. It's going to back them up 5 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 11. And the Tornadoes will have to go from there. 19-9, Tornadoes on top after a defensive 2-point conversion after a blocked punt, or blocked extra point attempt, rather. 19-9, 6:39 to play. Blake Peters in the shotgun position. James Brown to his left. Peters back to pass and intended there for Ellis. Broken up there by Caldwell. Caldwell all over it. Well, big congratulations to the Brevard College women's soccer team. Continues an undefeated season. They won in the first round of the USA South Conference Championships last night. They advanced to the semifinals, which they'll host on Wednesday versus Southern Virginia. And a magical season for women's soccer, looking to keep that going. Meanwhile, pass here intended for Ellis, incomplete, out of bounds, and that's going to be a stop for the Warhawks defense. So Tornadoes punting unit will head to the field, and Anderson will go back to work. Also, Brevard College men's soccer will be hosting a USA South semifinals matchup on Wednesday also against Southern Virginia. So the Knights coming into town on Wednesday to take on the Tornadoes in USA South Conference tournament play on the soccer side of things. 6:29 to play here in the third quarter. Here's Anderson with the punt. Anderson gets it off. It's a good-looking punt, backing up the returner all the way to the 25. Hill able to make a couple of defenders miss. And a good-looking return of 12 yards for Hill. And the Warhawks will get things started there. However, there's a flag on the field, some extracurricular going on the other side of the field. Some hot tempers from the Warhawks. Caldwell of the Warhawks seemed a little out of control there, and we'll see how the officials saw it. 19-9 your score. With 6:18 to play.
Looks like Anderson might have had some some punches thrown or something. He keeps looking at his face there. I don't know if 51 for the NATOs was trying to take up for Anderson, if the Warhawks might have did something there, a little extracurricular.
Well, and if there was contact like that with a kicker, that's a whole other scenario too. They kind of run by a different set of rules. You can't just take a shot at a punter after he releases the football.
No, it's almost like it's just like a cheap shot, if you will, just to do that. It's like a unwritten rule in football that you just don't do that. I mean, it is a written rule, but at the same time, it's like, come on, guys, let's quit the extra stuff and let's just go out and play ball and have fun.
Well, it looks like the officials are doing everything they can to make sure this stays under control. A conversation with the Warhawks coaches, now conversation with the Brevard coaching side of things, and certainly want to make sure we get the best possible sportsmanship going on here at Brevard College on Isla Bell Family Field. So it looked like 2 unsportsmanlike penalties on the Warhawks, 1 on the Tornadoes. So by my calculation, it should be a penalty against the Warhawks for 15 yards somewhere, whether it's after the return. It seemed like all that was happening well after the play. So, the Brevard's not going to get an automatic first down out of this, but it is going to back up the Warhawks 15 yards from where they returned the punt. And all those players who, received the unsportsmanlike penalties, the way it works now in college football is, they mark that as your first unsportsmanlike penalty. 1 more, and you're out.
Yeah, I don't blame 51 for the NATOs here at all. If they're trying to take a cheap shot or trying to hurt the punter because he's a valuable player and whatnot, I don't blame 51 at all for getting that penalty there. You got to take up for your brothers, and you got to play within, keep your head cool, and you got to play within the whistles. But at the same time, you just can't let small stuff like that slide.
Well, it turns out to be a very costly penalty. They actually marched it off from where the punt was actually caught, not where the return ended, which is interesting. And it brings them all the way back to the 10-yard line. 1st and 10. Rush here. And a big stop by the Tornado defense. Tackle for loss. A gang of Tornadoes led by Yarborough. Yarborough leading the charge there. We've seen several of these tackles for loss. The Tornadoes' interior run defense has looked superb.
I'll have to say Yarborough's definitely making a name for himself today. He's run to the ball, pursued the ball well all day. This kid's I see a lot of potential in him, and he's one of the good ones out there for the Tornadoes defense.
Timeout on the field. Yeah, Tyrone Yarborough out of Burlington, North Carolina. And, this Futures program, it's really interesting to watch these players because it literally is the future for Brevard College football. Everyone on the roster, with very few exceptions, of freshmen. And these are the names that we're going to be seeing as, Brevard College football continues its success as a whole. And guys like Yarborough, who's out of Burlington, North Carolina, just east of Greensboro, and these Tornadoes, we're seeing all sorts of players shining here, and just really bodes well for the future of the Tornadoes as a whole.
Yeah, building a good program where you have a lot of depth and young guys coming in helps a lot because it helps build chemistry when you start them all at younger together, and everybody knows how to play well with each other. That's like us for the elders team. I know me and Bernard Wirtz, this is our first year of playing next to each other. I know we have good chemistry so far. I hope to continue to play next to him next year as well. I know me and Josh Blackstock, although I'm not next to him, I have played with him for all the 3 years that I've been here.
Deep shot here into traffic, intended for Holly. Davis and Sakakini were there defensively for the Tornadoes. So nice job for the Tornadoes secondary, able to keep that play from being a big one potentially for the Warhawks. And that'll bring up another third and long. The Warhawks have been facing these third and long situations, and that's a testament to the Tornadoes' defense, really making things difficult on first and second down. Another third and long here. We'll call it 3rd and 13. As MacArthur from that shotgun position. Tone Williams to his left. Now Williams in motion. And whistles. And a delay of game penalty is going to back up the Warhawks even further. So 3rd and 18. And starting to get in that dangerous situation where you might be receiving this ball if it's another shotgun snap in the end zone. So big opportunity here for the Tornado defense. We'll see what the Warhawks do. They might just play it conservative and try to get a little breathing room for a potential punt, but we'll see here in just a matter of moments. MacArthur. Handoff there. And Tornadoes defense again. The run defense, Tone Williams brought down. Yarborough there again. Also Jaden Foster Peak. Can't emphasize enough, this defensive line for the Brevard College Futures program has looked tremendous today.
I think these guys for Tyrone and all those young guys out there, they get in the weight room, they get a little stronger, they maybe slim down a little bit, get more of muscle on them. These guys are going to turn into real good dudes come next year and playing for the varsity team.
Punt there from Lopez. And some shifty returning by Quez Davis. And it's going to result in some outstanding field position for the NATOs, who are leading 19-9 with 4:09 to play here in this third quarter. Injured player on the field on the other side. We'll take a quick break. NATOs 19, Warhawks 9. Nice round of applause for Antonio Ellis. The Tornado came off the field with the injury. So 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes. Blake Peters and the NATO offense. Riggins. Nice hole on the right side of that offensive line. And Riggins with a nice gain on 1st down of about 8 yards. Isaiah Vance, the right tackle. Seth Pettyjohn, the right guard, paving the way on this near side of the field.
Yeah, Isaiah Vance is a good kid. He's come up for the varsity and got in a couple of field goal snaps for us and played a little bit for us up there.
Warhawks all over that running play this time around. Maddox taking down Riggins. Clock ticking now, 3:23 to play, 3rd quarter. Some different personnel checking in for the NATOs. Q Alexander, also Griffin Hyde, 2 wide receivers. And 3rd and 5 from the 29. So you feel like this is sort of a big play here. Tornadoes in some good field position.
Phil, looks like there might be a little bit of a helmet costume change for the Warhawks there.
Meanwhile, interception as the Peters pass is picked off by Amari Phillips. Number 1 for the Warhawks. And Phillips with a sizable return. And what was a big opportunity for the Tornadoes on the offensive end after that great field position that the defense have set up. A interception for the Warhawks. The field flips, and the Tornado defense will have to bring out the hard hat and pail and do it again.
I think this Tornadoes defense might have a pick 6 coming. Hopefully I can speculate one of those in. I speculated the pass to Joshua Quinn for the NATOs to score off of, so maybe they can get a pick 6 here.
Pass there, and a flag flies. This might be pass interference on the NATOs. Frazier was there defensively. Pass intended to Willie Holly. So we'll see the official ruling here. First and 10 from the 35. Defensive holding is the call. So automatic first down, 10 free yards for the Warhawks. Warhawks trying to come from behind. What was a 17-3 lead for Brevard at halftime. And now fresh set of downs for the Warhawks, 1st and 10 from the 25. Noel back in the game at quarterback. We've seen a rotation of the 2 quarterbacks, MacArthur and Noel. And once again, that rush defense for the Tornadoes, negligible gain. We'll call it a 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9. Hayward Pollard with the tackle. Pollard, freshman D lineman out of Savannah, Georgia, St. Andrews High School. So 2nd and 9 from the 24. Pass incomplete. And looked like a little bit after the play there, but cooler heads prevail. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
You don't know why everybody's trying to get chippy here in this into this game here. Just go out and play football and just have fun. Like trying to do some extra stuff here.
So 3rd and 9 from the 24. And quarterback sack there after the muff snap.
Tackled by number 64, Cameron Eubanks.
Cameron Eubanks, who's wearing number 64, makes the play.
Yeah, Eubanks has had some upcoming playing time for the varsity side of things here.
So that brings up 4th down from the 32. Pass there, intercepted for Sakakini, and the Tornadoes with the interception.
Intercepted by number 10, Carter Sakakini.
Sakakini with the interception. A freshman out of Charlotte, Ardrey Kell High School, and Brody Lindsay.
I mean, I'm not. We here at Brevard College, there is no script of who's winning. Sometimes, like the NFL has a script for the games. Just want everybody to know there's no script here, and that was pure luck of me calling that interception earlier.
You call it a pick six, so not quite a pick six, but yeah, close enough.
Close enough.
Meanwhile,
I'll count it.
Rush here, and tackle for loss. Zion McDaniel, and that Warhawk defense was in the middle of all that. Anchurius Williams, also Maddox, that big nose tackle.
It's Bill.
As the final seconds tick away here in the 3rd quarter. We've got a good one here as we head to quarter number 4. Tornadoes with the 19-9 advantage. And that'll be the score as we head to the 4th quarter. Brevard 19, Georgia Warhawks 9, end of 3. Start of the 4th quarter here. We've got a good one at Eyes Lamel Family Field. Tornadoes 19, Warhawks 9. As Blake Peters and the Tornadoes offense after the interception by the Tornadoes defense. Peters, some trickery here as Grant with the end around off the pitch and a big gainer.
That's going to be an interesting play call there. I'm glad they've decided to use some good trickery here, but I will have to say that is a new one for me. I've never seen that be called here as our playbook.
It made me nervous because I saw the pitch go back and no one there to receive it. I was ready for a turnover by the Warhawks. Then out of nowhere comes Grant, and Grant turns upfield for a big, big gain. Meanwhile, rush there from Zion McDaniel inside the 5. Be second and goal. So some razzle-dazzle from the Tornadoes offense. Head coach Bill Kyatt on the sidelines as well. Coming off that win over Methodist. And we've got pre-snap penalties here. There's movement both. This is one of those where both sides of the line is pointing at the other. That, hey, you did it. No, you did it. And it's going to be on the Warhawks defensive line, so half the distance to the goal. So opportunity gets that much better for the NATOs. So second and goal. Rush here to McDaniel, and touchdown. McDaniel for the second time today with a touchdown run, and the Tornadoes capitalize with points off the turnover. The big trick play to Grant, and then McDaniel for his second touchdown of the day. And that'll give the Tornadoes a 25-9 lead.
Yeah, this offense is finally clicking together. They're actually making stuff happen now, scoring points. Not giving up much sacks this game either. So that offensive line really holding up protection.
Yeah, great point, Brody, as extra point is good. So 26-9.
Phil, looks like there's going to be a little flag on the play here.
Okay, well, we'll see what the ruling is here. We've seen this before on these extra points, and certainly don't want to necessarily give the Warhawks the same sort of opportunity that the Tornadoes had to. So it's an unsportsmanlike penalty on Brevard that will be assessed on the kickoff. So score remains 26-9. And we'll march on here in this fourth quarter, 10:45 to play. Well, we've been keeping you updated in the NFL. Some of these games have gone final. Appreciate you spending your time here on this YouTube channel. We know you've got a lot of entertainment options. Bills 30, Dolphins 27. That's a final from Orchard Park, New York. The Ravens defeat the Broncos 41-10. Chargers 27, Browns 10. That's a final from Cleveland. The Commanders defeat the Giants 27-22. And the Falcons beat the Cowboys 27-21. 3 games still going on from that early slate of games. In overtime, the Patriots and Titans are knotted up at 17. With 1 minute, 53 seconds left in the fourth, Bengals 41, Raiders 17. And the Saints down 1, 23-22 against the Panthers in Charlotte. And that's in the final seconds in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, after the penalty was assessed against the Tornadoes on the kickoff, return here taken to the 43-yard line, and that's where the Warhawks will go to work first and 10. But they've got a big hole to dig out of now after touchdown there by the Tornadoes. Warhawks trailing by 17 points.
Most definitely. If I was the Warhawks here, and we're just going to try to put some plays together and just try to go down the field, try to score a little bit if you can, but try to just keep this game going. Try to not use up a lot of the clock here. Go score quick so you can maximize on the times that you have the ball. If you can go and score quick, you have maximize time.
10:35 to play here in the fourth quarter. Tornadoes 26, Warhawks 9. MacArthur rolling out to his right. All sorts of pursuit by that Tornadoes defense. And the Tornadoes with a big tackle for loss there. That's going to be a loss of 8 yards. 2nd and 18 coming up. Samuel Grimes making the play, the freshman linebacker from McRae, Georgia. You know, the Samuel Grimes is a player who's made a lot of noise with this Futures program.
Yeah, he's also come up for the varsity on us, give us good scout teams look. I know during the week he plays the Mike position for our scout teams, which is the middle linebacker. Gives us, as the offense, a good look, tries to help us be in the best position for success come Saturday.
Grimes, the linebacker out of McRae, Georgia, Telfair County High School, pass there incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd and 18. The Warhawks offense has faced 3rd and long, 3rd and 10 and more, probably a half dozen times today, and it's tough to get an offense going, and that's going to be back up even further. So 3rd and 23. Around these parts, we call this 3rd and Rutherfordton.
Yes, it's hard to get offensive rolling when you're always playing behind the sticks here, Phil. It's frustrating for the offensive line because you're wanting to move the guys in front of you, make holes, make gaps for your running backs, and protect your quarterback so you can try to make something happen. But it looks like the right guard right there just tried to throw the guy up the field and threw the NATO right into the quarterback's lap.
Deshaun Haddon with another sack for that Tornado defense, and a lot to feel good about on the defensive side, especially for the Tornadoes this afternoon. Deshaun Haddon out of Bethune, South Carolina, and a big, big stop. Now, not sure entirely what the down is. So we had it as 4th down, but it looks like it's actually 3rd down. As deep shot here, and on 3rd and 28, they needed 28. They got 29, and that's going to be a 1st down for the Warhawks. So 2nd time today, there's been a wild down and distance situation for the Warhawks, and they've been able to convert somehow. They converted a 4th and 20 earlier in this game, and now getting it done on 3rd and 28. And Warhawks will be in business here, 1st and 10 at the 46. Rush up the middle, gain of 6. We'll call it 5, actually, so that'll bring up 2nd and 5. Clock running, 7:32 and counting. Warhawks might want to think about creating a little bit of sense of urgency with their offense if they want to get back into this game, down by 17 points.
Most definitely. If I was the head coach and the offensive coordinator, I'd say, hey, boys, let's run a hurry-up offense here, try to maximize the time we got, and just try to go score.
Quick hitter there, and that's going to be a big gainer as Tone Williams is pushed out by Casey Gladden. Gladden out of Carolina Beach, North Carolina, Eugene Ashley High School. .650 in counting. Tornado defense being asked again to take care of business against this Warhawk offense. They've been doing it all day. Pass there along the sidelines, incomplete, ruled out of bounds. Anderson went up high, brought it in, and 1 foot was out of bounds. Linesman all over it.
I believe that was the best call right there. That was, for a second, I thought they were going to let him go off with it, and he could have possibly scored off of it, but that was a great call by the officials here.
Yeah, Anderson did everything he could to sell it, like look like, hey, I'm in bounds. I got this covered, and no, out of bounds. 2nd and 10. Noel back into the game at the quarterback position for the Warhawks. Pass here, a deep shot, incomplete. Great coverage by Gladden on that far sideline, intended for Garcia. And that'll bring up 3rd down. Third and 10 for the Warhawks. So another 3rd and long situation.
Let's see if the Warhawks can't convert another one here.
Pass down the far sideline, incomplete, intended for Grant. Carlos Rodriguez there defensively for the NATOs, and that'll bring up a 4th and 10 situation. So 4th down, looks like the offense is going to stay on the field down by 17. And an opportunity here for the Tornadoes to really have the upper hand down the stretch here if they're able to get a stop. Now, the Warhawks did convert a 4th and 20 before, so wouldn't put it past them. 4th and 10. Pass and complete. Holly, and the Warhawks have a knack on these long to-go plays of coming up with the conversion.
Yeah, maybe that's in their wheelhouses. Let's get backed up and, 3rd and long and 4th and long and just let's let one fly and see.
Yes.
Let our guys go to work and see what they can't do here. I don't think that's the kind of coaching plan that I would want to have installed, but most definitely is working for the Warhawks today.
Yeah, 4th and 10, 4th and 20. We got them right where we want them. Meanwhile, rush here. Ball is loose. Tornadoes indicating it's Brevard football. Still waiting for the signal. And it's Tornadoes ball. Tornadoes with the turnover deep in the red zone, stopping the Warhawks attack. And for the 2nd straight drive, a Tornadoes takeaway on the defensive end.
Yeah, Phil, I think that as the Tornadoes offense here, we run to the 30 or run to the 40, and let's try to hit them with another trick play and get some more points on the board here.
That's one way to approach it, or you just pound the football and run the clock out here, up 17 with 5:24 to play in the 4th quarter. But, hey, the Tornadoes defense, Brody, a couple takeaways here late in the game to really give the Tornadoes the upper hand. They've been tough all day long. What a performance by this BC defense.
Yeah, the BC defense really grinds together, and
a penalty there on Brevard. That's going to back up the Tornadoes half the distance to the goal. This is going to be a tricky situation here. 1st and 13 from the 2. New quarterback for Brevard College. Number 8, Chasten Thompson, out of Travelers Rest, South Carolina. Not too far from us here in Brevard. And rush there by Chaz Boggs. Another running back for the NATOs. Out of the state of West Virginia, Boggs. So that gives the NATOs some nice breathing room after that rush from Boggs. Ball spotted at the 12. 2nd and 4. So we saw Blake Peters lead this Tornadoes offense. Now Chaston Thompson. Peters with some huge plays to Joshua Quinn in this one. Meanwhile, rush there. There's a flag on the play, so this might be coming back. Boggs did reach the line to gain. Now 4:31 to play here in the 4th. Update from Nashville, Tennessee. Titans 20, Patriots 17 in overtime. Patriots with the football. Also a final, Carolina, the Panthers with a 23-22 win over the Saints.
Yeah, Phil, Carolina Panthers fans are definitely happy for today.
Yeah, it's got some Panthers loyalists up here in the press box, including Sports Information Director Joseph Marvin. Feel good day for the Panthers.
Oh.
As flags again. And this is going to bring the Tornadoes back half the distance of the goal again. Well, the Titans game just went final, 2017. Titans defeat the Patriots.
Looks like there might have been some miscommunication here with the quarterback in the center. You know, different quarterbacks have different cadences, and could have been misheard. You know, Peters has kind of a quiet, and not really quiet, but kind of a soft count, while Chaston might not be able to be loud enough for the O-line or the center to be able to hear.
Yeah, that's great insight, Brody, as a guy that's lived it there on those offensive lines and continuing your work here at Brevard College on the O-line. 3:30 and counting here. 3rd down and 9. Thompson's going to hand it off to Boggs again. Boggs takes on a defender, but he's going to be stopped short of the line to gain. So that'll likely bring out Anderson and the punting unit. Meanwhile, back to the NFL. The 4 o'clock games now underway. Jaguars at Eagles, Bears at Cardinals, Lions, Packers, Rams, Seahawks, and the Sunday night game tonight, Colts, Vikings. I appreciate you spending your Sunday with us here on the Brevard College Tornadoes YouTube channel. 2:40 and counting. Punt here from Anderson. End over end punt. Lands at the 50. It's muffed. And momentarily, as Dale Justice able to recover his own muff. And Warhawks will go back to work here, but running out of time. 2:33 to play in the 4th. And Tornadoes defense will head back out there. That defensive line, guys like Jaden Foster Peak and James Laycock, Tyrone Yarborough, Cameron Eubanks, Hayward Pollard, they've been outstanding.
Definitely, those guys, I really expect to see them come up next year and play for the Elders team and get starting time too.
Quick hitter there, intended for Garcia, incomplete, defended by Frazier. 2:29 after the incomplete pass. Clock is stopped. And MacArthur will take the shotgun snap. Deep shot and just out of the reach of Anderson. But a late flag comes in. And Anderson with a little celebration on that far side.
I don't think that they made a right call here, Phil. I think that one was kind of uncatchable there if it's going to be a pass interference.
Well, I just didn't even see any contact. It was, not far from the grasp of Anderson, but I didn't see any actual contact. Anderson, good sales job.
Yeah.
Some of these wide receivers know how to sell it. Well, Tornadoes with the big 44-21 victory over Methodist yesterday. Keeping the momentum going after a big win at Huntington in Montgomery, Alabama. Now today the Futures ahead 26-9 in the final minutes here in the fourth quarter. Great weekend for Brevard College athletics as trouble on the snap there, and MacArthur is able to smother the football. Had in there for the NATOs. Once again, big congratulations to Brevard College women's soccer. Wins then that first round of the USA South Conference tournament. They'll be in action on Wednesday, along with the men's team. Volleyball continuing their winning ways as well. Cross country coming off a big performance at the USA South Conference Championships. Cycling team will be heading to the USA Cycling National Championships for mountain bike coming up in Bentonville, Arkansas. As we see a couple of Carolina Panthers fans entering the building right on cue. Got Christian McCaffrey and Bryce Young jerseys. So see a little of everything here at Islamel Family Field. We had a Cleveland Browns jersey with the name Rennie on the back of it as part of the Senior Day ceremony.
Yeah.
So see a little of everything and see that NFL flavor here at Brevard College as we've reached that 2-minute timeout once again. Well, go to bctornadoes.com for all your news, scores, stats, and information. At BC Tornadoes on Twitter and Instagram. That's where you want to follow the Tornadoes on social media. Brevard College Tornado Athletics. That's what you want to follow on Facebook. And if you haven't done so already, on this YouTube channel, hit subscribe and then hit that little bell. And that'll ensure that you'll receive all the notifications when the Tornadoes go live. We'll be back live on Wednesday for those soccer playoff games. Meanwhile, 2 minutes to play here. MacArthur flushed out of the pocket and another sack by that Tornado defense. Haddon with the sack, and Haddon has been coming alive here in this fourth quarter. And another sack, and this is a wild down and distance. And from the Warhawks' perspective, hey, this is right where we want them. This is how it's gone today. Let's see, 26 plus 8. I'm showing a 3rd and 34.
Phil, I believe we could call this one 3rd in Knoxville.
3rd in Knoxville, so we're taking it even further. All right, so we're across state lines now, and an interception or a fight for the ball. We'll see who comes up with it. Dre Burton and Anderson, and now a flag flies, but another turnover, another takeaway for the Tornadoes defense. Tornadoes have come alive here in this fourth quarter. Flags fly. There was some taunting afterwards. It seemed like Anderson had some words with Burton. They've been going at it all game, but big time INT by Burton in the final minutes of this one. So ruling on the field is an interception. Still waiting for the rest of the story from the officials, what the flag was all about.
What?
So
Confusion here. Why have 31s coming out of the game by the official?
yeah, the official asked number 31 Cole Jones to go to the sideline. Not really sure why. There was no penalty enforced after the interception, and the kneel down for Thompson and the Tornadoes. Now under a minute to play. This is a feel-good win for the Tornadoes Futures program, the last Futures game of the season, and no better way than to wrap up your year with a win. They had the first win in Futures program history earlier this season against UNCG, the club team, and this is the first home win
Yep.
in program history for the Brevard College Futures program. So what a day here at Brevard College as the Futures do their part after the Elders win big against Methodist on Saturday. And time ticking away here. 20 seconds and counting as the Warhawks will make the trip back to Lawrenceville, Georgia, and the Tornadoes will enjoy the first home victory in Futures program history as the final bell rings. Your final score, Tornadoes 26, Warhawks 9. Brody, what a performance by the Nados. All three phases, if you really think about it. Let's start with that Tornado defense holding the Warhawks to just 9 points.
Yeah, Phil, the Tornado defense played lights out today. I'm really proud of these guys. Some of these guys have made me better as a person, as an athlete, by giving us a better look on scout teams. And I'm really proud of these guys. They've really finally put everything together and have good chemistry with one another, and they finally got a win out of it.
Yeah, no doubt. A big day, especially that defensive front. I mean, a number of quarterback sacks, really made the running game of the Warhawks, basically a zero factor today. And then the DBs coming up with a couple of key interceptions.
Yeah, Phil, those guys, they, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast and all throughout it, these defensive guys, they like to fly around, make plays. They're fast. They're physical. They just like to come out there and play fast and have fun. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want all your players and all the guys that are involved just to go out there and have fun.
Yeah, no doubt. And then on the offensive side, what a day for the Tornadoes there. 26 points, great total to get the win. Blake Peters, a big day at the quarterback position, able to find Joshua Quinn for a couple of big gainers and then a touchdown as well. And then Zion McDaniel able to hammer it home for a couple of touchdown runs also. Tornadoes offense got it done when it mattered.
Yeah, all those guys that you labeled off there, really good athletes. Blake Peters had himself a day. To Joshua Quinn, also had a good day for this guy as well. I expect to see more of Joshua Quinn maybe coming up for the varsity and might be getting some snaps in possibly the next game or the next few games, depending on if the Elders teams can make it to the playoffs and win a conference championship.
Yeah, Joshua Quinn out of Cure Beach, North Carolina, Laney High School. The high school where who went?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan once upon the time. So a great legacy there out of that high school, and Joshua Quinn coming up big. And then the third phase, of course, special teams. Luke Anderson, once again, handling it with his foot, whether it's punts or kickoffs or field goals, point after. And then the Tornadoes coming up big with a point after attempt that was blocked and then taken to the house for a 2-point defensive conversion.
Yeah, Phil. The special teams, they don't get enough credit. Those guys, all the specialists and all the special teams, they really put the fine we'll say the clear coat on the whole the whole offense and defense. They really help smooth things over. They make, if you can have a good special teams, usually you'll have a good operations with the whole team. And if you have a blocked punt or a blocked field goal, that is also a turning point for the whole side of things. Here, you could have a win, or could have a win.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, the Tornadoes coming up big, and that seemed to be a big moment there where the 2-point defensive conversion after the blocked point after touchdown. Well, stick with us this week here at Brevard College. We'll have Tornado Talk tomorrow night starting at 7 p.m. Wednesday, we'll have men's and women's soccer, USA South Conference semifinals, and then more action, including the men's basketball season opener on Saturday, noon versus Randolph. We're already here to basketball season, believe it or not. Best of luck to the Brevard College football team as they head to NC Wesleyan this coming weekend. And Brody, best of luck to you. Congratulations on the year so far, and can't wait to see what's still upcoming for this year's Elders team.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. I really hope that we can pull this together and have a go to play for the conference championship, and hopefully and possibly go play for a playoff win.
Absolutely. Well, looking forward to seeing how that all unfolds. Brody, great job on the broadcast this afternoon. It was great to have you along for the ride.
Thank you, Phil. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. Futures get their first ever home win at Eyes Lamel Family Field. Congratulations. Your final score for the final time, Tornadoes 26, Warhawks 9. Go Tornadoes.